Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking some seriously powerful source material to figure out what it truly means to construct an unbreakable legacy of trust through our everyday actions. We're talking about the architecture of integrity. Honestly, I just love that word, architecture. It implies that trust isn't some sort of magic trick, and it definitely isn't an accident. It is meticulously designed, it's built, and it requires a rock-solid foundation. So throughout our time together today, we're going to break down exactly how you build that legacy brick by brick and why it is arguably the single most valuable asset you will ever possess.
Now, I want you to really think about this for a second. What if people trusted you so completely that they literally stopped checking the books? Just imagine a scenario, maybe at your job, in your family, or in your community, where your character entirely replaces the need for oversight. Nobody's asking for receipts, nobody is double-checking your work to make sure you didn't cut corners, they just hand you the keys and walk away. That level of absolute, unquestioned confidence feels almost impossible in today's world, doesn't it? I mean, we live in an era of constant verification, two-factor authentication, audits, endless double checks. But what our source material reveals today is that achieving this level of total trust isn't just possible, it's an actual historical reality.
To really wrap our heads around this, let's take a quick trip back in time to a fascinating historical setting, the reign of King Joash of Judah. Early on in his reign, King Joash recognized a massive, glaring problem, and it's actually kind of surprising. The absolute center of their community, their worship, their devotion, the temple of God, was literally crumbling, and not from some invading army or a natural disaster, but from decades of sheer mundane neglect. It was just falling apart. So to fix this massive monumental structure during the Restoration period, vast, incredibly large sums of money were collected from the public. Now naturally, whenever you're dealing with massive piles of community funds, accountability becomes your absolute #1 concern, right? People want to know where every single penny of their contribution is going.
But here is where we hit a staggering historical anomaly. When it came time to actually hand over these massive sums of money to the restoration supervisors, no detailed accounting was demanded. Zero. There were no ledgers, no surprise audits, there were no strict reporting structures or, triple-signed requisition forms. The money was simply handed directly to the supervisors. In any modern context, this sounds completely reckless. I mean, think about the opportunities for misuse, for skimming a little off the top, for personal gain. And yet, the people didn't demand a single spreadsheet. Why? Well, because the character of these workers was already a known commodity. Their history of faithful conduct was so loud, so undeniable, that it completely bypassed the need for a ledger.
And that brings us to this one striking quote from the historical account. They acted with complete honesty. Just 6 words. But wow, what a profound sentence. That simple statement is basically the ultimate thesis on how a flawless reputation operates. Their history spoke louder than any financial report ever could. Their integrity was so well established, so deeply baked into who they were as people, that it inspired total confidence in absolutely everyone around them. It wasn't just that they didn't steal, it was that they operated with complete, undeniable honesty in every single facet of the project.
So you might be wondering, how does a person actually get to the point where they are trusted with millions of dollars and zero oversight? Well, it doesn't happen overnight, that's for sure. First, it starts with countless daily decisions. Second, it has to be proven repeatedly over time. And third, that total trust is established long before the critical assignment ever arrives. Look, the workers during King Joash's reign didn't suddenly become trustworthy the exact day they were handed a giant bag of gold. That is a huge misconception. You don't rise to the occasion of a big moment, you fall back on your established habits. Their reputation had been built over years of proving themselves before they ever got the keys to the treasury.
And how do you prove yourself over years? It's through the small, seemingly minor, micro decisions. It's returning that extra change you got by mistake at the drive-thru. It's keeping a promise to help a friend move even when it suddenly becomes incredibly inconvenient for your weekend schedule. Telling the truth when a tiny little white lie would effortlessly get you out of an awkward dinner party. Or working diligently when absolutely no supervisor is watching you, and frankly, when you could probably just scroll on your phone for an hour. Every single time you make one of these choices, you are laying another brick in the foundation of your reputation. You are constructing the architecture of your true identity.
This brings us to a really crucial redefinition of integrity. It is not a character trait built in a single major moment. It is shaped in the countless small moments no one sees. So many of us think of integrity as this grand, one-time heroic act.
We think it's the moment we dramatically stand up against massive corporate fraud. But the source material completely challenges that idea. Integrity is actually a compounding daily habit. It's forged in the quiet, mundane moments of everyday life when you think absolutely nobody is paying attention. But here's the secret. People are paying attention to the sum total of those moments. That compounding effect is what actually builds the legacy.
And once you build that legacy, it scales outward in this massive ripple effect. When you operate with integrity, it doesn't just stay with you. In families, parents who keep their word build deep trust, and their children experience much greater confidence and emotional security. In friendships, bonds are built on reliable safety. People naturally gravitate toward friends they know won't betray their confidence just to get a cheap laugh. And in workplaces, they function with incredibly high stability. Skills and talent are great, sure, but trust determines who gets the real responsibility. When teams trust each other, the entire organization becomes stable, grounded, and immensely powerful.
Which leads us to a profound realization. Integrity is a community asset. I really want you to take this in for a second. A trustworthy person doesn't just benefit themselves. You aren't just building a good reputation so you can get a promotion or a pat on the back. You actually become a true community asset. You provide confidence and security to everyone around you. Trust reduces suspicion, it strengthens cooperation, and it creates a safe harbor for the people you work with and live with. Your integrity quite literally makes the whole community healthier.
This dynamic fundamentally shifts how we work together. Think about it. In a high-trust environment, you have this beautiful, frictionless efficiency. People focus on shared goals, there's effortless cooperation, just like the workers seamlessly rebuilding that ancient temple. But contrast that with a low-trust environment, where every single transaction becomes difficult. When integrity is lacking, you need more rules. You need forced bureaucratic oversight. You waste massive amounts of energy constantly verifying information and second-guessing everyone's true motives. Distrust creates frustrating barriers. By being a person of integrity, you personally help shift your environment away from a heavy bureaucratic nightmare and toward light, frictionless efficiency.
But we do have to talk about the stark warning that comes with this power. Reputation is earned slowly, but damaged quickly. This is the extreme fragility of trust. You can spend 20 years acting like the workers of King Joash's time, laying brick after brick after brick of honest behavior. But a single act of dishonesty, a single major breach of that trust, can bring the entire architecture crashing down in an instant. Character is one of the very few possessions in life that becomes exponentially more valuable the longer it's protected, but it requires daily, unwavering vigilance.
The really good news here, though, is that integrity is universally available to everyone. It doesn't cost a single dime, it does not depend on your wealth, it doesn't depend on your level of education, it doesn't depend on your social status or whatever it happens to say on your business card. True integrity requires absolutely nothing but the daily, conscious choice of honesty. Any person, anywhere, regardless of their background, can decide today to be trustworthy. You have the exact same access to building a legendary reputation as the most powerful person on earth.
As we wrap up our analysis of this historical source, I want to leave you with a deeply personal challenge. When people think about you, what comes to mind? Do they see someone whose word can be implicitly trusted? Do they see someone who handles responsibilities faithfully, whether people are watching or not? It's a heavy question, I know, but it is the only one that truly measures the strength of the foundation you are building every single day. If you found this explainer helpful, please share it with someone you trust and subscribe to join our community as we continue to explore insights on living with purpose. But before we go today, I want you to remember the workers rebuilding that ancient temple. They didn't need audits, and they certainly didn't need oversight. So ask yourself today, are you building a legacy of honesty that speaks so loudly the ledgers aren't even needed? Keep building that architecture of trust brick by brick. Catch you next time.